Hi, this is the presentation for our project Tradera Trends, a statistics tool for Tradera auction traders. Presented by me, Jörgen Bygdemark, and Andreas Arvidsson. There is currently no way to easily search for statistics that show when and how much products were previously sold for on the auction site tradera.se. Information about maximum and minimum sell price and if there might be days and time of day when a specific product sold for a higher or lower price could help traders to make more informed decisions on when to buy or sell a specific product. So we wanted to create a website where users could search for products and be presented with useful statistics to help them make better decisions. To be able to create the statistics, we needed to collect data and found that it was possible to register our application and get access to an API provided by Tradera. The API provides a number of SOAP services, which is a messaging protocol for sending data over the internet. And for our tool, we need to use two methods from the provided services. Get categories that provide us with data about all the categories on the site, which we needed to be able to limit the searches made by users. And Search Advanced that provided data about items and that among other things included information about when the auction ended and how much the item sold for. Unfortunately, the API has some restrictions that affected our collection of data. Firstly, it is only possible to make a maximum of 100 calls every 24 hours to the API. And the second restriction is that the responses from the API is divided into pages that contains at most 500 items per page, and it is only possible to page to a maximum of 10,000 items. This meant that it was impossible to create a large database at once, and that we needed some way to collect data over time. So the website that we created is built with a front end of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And partly because the API uses SOAP, the backend consists of POP, and the front end communicates with the backend through Ajax to perform tasks and receive data. And to hold the collected data, we used a PostgreSQL database. And the backend can then also communicate with the API through the SOAP calls. So, to handle a continuous collection of data, we created an administrator interface that lets the administrator to select the top category and fetch items that is listed under that category. And for convenience, the responses from the API is saved into files, so they may be inserted at a time chosen by the admin. When the new items are collected from the API and inserted into a file, the new file is then listed and may be inserted into the database.
The PostgreSQL database contains the following relations. Ad type, which is used to distinguish between the 4 types of ads on Tradera's website. These types are regular auctions, auctions with the possibility of buying the item outright, only buy, and finally items sold by shops. Auction info, which covers general information such as price and ending date regarding ongoing and concluded ads. Category, which simply specifies the category and subcategories an item can belong to. Item, which identifies any items and who is selling it. And finally, seller, which identifies sellers and their average review scores given by other users. We also have a view named complete item, which pairs items with its respective seller. It acts as a convenient tool for write operations. Now on to our graphical user interface. To search for a product, we need to enter a string into the search box in the top left corner. For this example, we will use the iPhone 8 Plus. Then we need to choose a category from the drop-down box. The list that is supposed to appear is currently invisible to you, but I can see it. Something wrong with the recording software. Then a new drop-down box will appear with subcategories, and then we will keep choosing subcategories until new drop-down boxes stop appearing. This is because we need to narrow down the search as much as possible to avoid getting unwanted items into the final result. For example, since we want the phone, iPhone 8 Plus, we don't want the accessories in the result. Then we hit search, and the items will be fetched from the database and displayed on the screen. Let's see, out of the 30 items we found, the highest, lowest, and average prices, as well as the names of the cheapest and most expensive item. In the first graph, we see the price development over time, and in the second and third graphs, we see the items sold per hour of day and the number of items sold per day of week, respectively. And at the bottom, we see a list of all the items found, as well as a link to each item's Tradera page. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching.